very close. That's okay. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us on this beautiful, kind of humid Saturday morning. But we have officially finished all our methods of breathing meditation. So today we're just going to go over a quick summary of them all and do kind of like an overview of everything. And hopefully finally have a full 30 minutes for meditation. And that way next month we can start on walking meditation. We'll spend the 2 sessions in October for walking. And then maybe after that we'll think about doing our retreat. Oh no. Can you fix that? Pull it up. Okay, pull it back. There you go. Perfect. Thanks. I don't want to pull it. Anyway, so again, we're just going to go over the whole review of today. So if you don't have any notes of any of the past classes, feel free to grab it from the website. I only have uploaded what we've covered, so next time I'll have printouts for you of walking, but if not, feel free to grab it from the website. So as we recall, we've gone over 4 methods of meditation, 2, 3 breathing, and 1 kind of clock counting. So we'll just briefly go over those, and then today's kind of freestyle for you. So if you've been practicing those methods, you can choose one to stick with for the duration of your meditation, or kind of jump through. You can start breathe hopping through each method, or method hopping, we're going to call it. So as we hopefully recall, who can tell me what our object, or what is our point? Why are we meditating? What's the point of meditation? Anybody? No? Okay, fine, whatever. The point of our meditation, or at least the meditation I'm trying to teach you, is to concentrate. Concentration, right? Concentration is the point of meditation. For Buddhist meditation, as you recall, I said there's 2 major methods, concentration and contemplation, or samadhi and vipassana. So we will mostly concentrate on concentration meditation, right? Because you kind of need to master how to concentrate before you're able to kind of really dig deep into your mind and contemplate worldly affairs or personal affairs. So all of our methods of meditation are geared around concentration. So whether we're breathing, if we're walking, if we're chanting, if we're just being mindful altogether, it all should lead you to a hopefully strong concentration. And just remember, the point of concentration isn't to completely eliminate all your thoughts, right? Because it's okay to think. It's okay to have thoughts pop up and for you to kind of think of things. But you do not want to entertain those thoughts. So it's okay to think as long as you're aware that you're thinking. You acknowledge that the thought is there. That way you can just acknowledge, hey, I'm thinking, or hey, there's a thought, and just let it go. Because once you've acknowledged its presence, it will just kind of automatically disappear on its own. So don't be discouraged if you're thinking. Be very glad that you're able to catch that thought, because that's a huge accomplishment that you're aware that you're thinking. So whenever, at least for me, I label things. So if I hear a sound, if I hear the door open, I just say door open, or door, or dog barking, or the saw going off, or whatever it may be, right? So whatever sound or feeling or smell or taste or whatever that you feel, just give it a quick label and just let it go away, and it'll just naturally disappear. So don't feel discouraged if you feel like the whole meditation is kind of wasted. As long as you haven't spent the whole daydreaming about God knows what, right? Then you've successfully accomplished your meditation session. So don't let that discourage you. But after a while, you're reprogramming your mind, saying, hey, once a thought comes up, you don't want it there, and the mind will be like, okay, fine, I'll stop bothering you, right? But it does take practice, and you do have to diligently work towards it. And you can practice that, when you're walking to your car and when you're driving, right? If you're not concentrating on driving, you're just kind of daydreaming, or you're talking to someone on the phone, or what maybe you're not paying attention really 100% to the road, right? But if you do, and if you're just fully focused on just going to your destination or driving, that is practicing meditation. You're practicing mindfulness. You're being a defensive driver, and you're being mindful of your surroundings and other drivers around you, right? Because if you're distracted, if you're dancing and singing along, having a solo dance party like some of us do, you're not really paying attention of the speeding drivers or people cutting in front of you, and then that can cause an accident. So, but as long as you're just focused on just the driving and getting from point A to point B, then you're practicing mindfulness and you're being a defensive driver. And today I was going to practice our stick meditation, right? But I forgot to locate or allocate some bamboos for us. So maybe next time, well, no, we'll do walking, so that will work. But eventually, I wanted to test you all on posture by balancing a stick on your shoulder. I really wanted to do it today, but I totally forgot. Because we're doing so much work outside and fixing things and construction, I've completely forgot. But I do encourage you all to do that at home if you're able to find a stick or a chopstick or something, right? But I do want to briefly at least go over the methods of posture, the 7-pointed postures. Then I'll quickly go over all the 4 methods that we've discussed, and then we'll sit down for our full meditation this time. So as you recall, the very first point is the legs, right? So either half lotus, full lotus, or just fully cross-legged, right? Fully cross-legged is both feet on your on top of each other, or just one foot on top of the other, or just sit regularly cross-legged is perfectly fine. You do want to be a little bit higher. Your butt wants to be a little bit higher than your thighs or knees. That way you have a stable position, because if you're leaning back too much and your legs are going to fall asleep faster. So you want to experiment with different seating arrangements and postures, because you want to find what's going to work for you, especially if you do sit down for a longer period. You want to be as comfortable as you can be. And of course, you always want your back straight. So as I've mentioned before, the best way to get that naturally complete straight back is to lift both your arms above your head and just kind of slowly bring your hands down. That will give you the straightest, most natural posture you can find or get. Then you want to keep your shoulders back as well, right? So you want to align your shoulders with your hips. Keep that straight, because you can have it back straight, but if your shoulders are kind of slouchy, then it's going to slowly start slouching your whole body forward. And you don't want that either, because then you're going to be uncomfortable and then can't breathe correctly. Then you want your hands placed in front of you. So I always recommend hand over hand, right? The traditional seating method. You can also just place your hands on your knees as well. But remember, if you do have your hands on your knees, that you don't want to use that as support to hold yourself up, right? You just want to let your hands fall naturally and comfortably. You don't want to hold yourself up. And then you want to keep your neck tall and straight as well, so, right? So everything from your neck down has to be completely straight and aligned. And then your eyes, I always recommend keep your eyes semi-closed, because if you do keep them completely closed, you have the potential of falling asleep. But if you have them completely open, then you may get distracted by something moving outside or any distractions around you. So semi-closed is probably the best option. And then your tongue as well. So I always recommend to keep your tongue placed on the roof of your mouth, between your teeth and your roof of the mouth, the gums. And that way it'll help keep the saliva in the back of your mouth, so it'll help prevent you from swallowing too often. So that's the 7 points that kind of want to prepare yourself for meditation. So we'll quickly go over the 4 methods that we've discussed. So the very first method is the most traditional counting method. So you're counting 1 to 10 for each breath. So you're counting in 1, out 1, in 2, out 2, etc. Until you reach 10. And then you can either go backwards or just start over back from 1. If you ever get distracted or lose count, then you just want to start over and just remind yourself to go back to your breath, to be mindful back to your breath and start counting over again. The second method was the weird form that I've told you about that I can't find words to describe. But it's essentially you can either use the sound of the clock or just count, right? So for each tick, you're counting 1. Next tick is 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're kind of going through that sequence, right? You're counting up until 10, and then you're going to start backwards and count from 10 to 1, and then just kind of repeat for the whole session. To me, it's most difficult because it's for most of us, it can be hard to remember where you left off, because I usually go up to 30. So I always lose count, but it's great because if you lose count, that's kind of like an automatic trigger in itself, right? To let you know, hey, you've lost focus or you've lost your concentration. Now you need to start over again. So it kind of has that fail-safe in itself. So it's very helpful. I use the sound of the clock, but you don't have to if it's too distracting for you. Just count as you're breathing. But remember, if you are doing something where you're using your breath to count, that you don't want to control your breath, right? You don't want to force yourself to breathe in 1, breathe out 2. Just breathe naturally. You're focusing on the numbers. You're not really focusing on your breath. You're observing your breathing, but your focus is on the counting. That way you're not forcing or controlling your breath. The third method is the concentration on breathing on different parts of your body. So you are, as you're breathing in, you're focusing on the tip of your nose. So you're feeling the air go in and out of your nose as you're counting. I'll just count to 3. So as you're breathing in, out, in, out, in, out, you're just focusing on the air going into your nose, right? You're just noticing, is it cold? Is it warm? Is it soft? Are you breathing heavy? Just noticing the air kind of go through from the tip of your nose. Then after you've done that, you want to notice it going, you want to feel the air going in the back of your throat, like kind of into your neck. Just feel it go in and out, in and out. And then you want to feel the air from your lungs. Just feel your lungs expand, contract, go in, out, in, and out. And then you're going to feel the air kind of in your diaphragm, in your abdomen. So feel your stomach rise and fall or go up and down, however you want to call it. And then finally, just kind of feel your whole body take in the air, right? Because as you breathe, it goes into your sciencey stuff. So you're just feeling your whole body fill in. And then once you've done that, just go backward and up until the tip of your nose. The last method is one of the most traditional for the Vipassana method. So you are completely only focusing on your abdomen. So as you're breathing in, you're really going to be using your stomach or your abdomen to breathe. So as you breathe in, you're feeling your abdomen rise and fall or go up and down and out, however you want to call it. You're just focusing completely on your abdomen, right? So as you're breathing in, you just feel it. I feel it rise, you feel it fall. But that's your full focus. So you're not counting, you're not feeling anything outside of your abdomen area. You're just feeling how your abdomen rises and falls. So those are the 4 methods that we've discussed over the past few weeks. There are many, many other methods out there, but these really are the most commonly used. So hopefully one of them works for you. If not, I do encourage you to kind of experiment with other methods if you want to kind of just Google and find them. But hopefully at least one of these methods do work for you. Because again, most counting or breathing meditations are kind of all similar. They're just slightly, they just slightly change from one another. But basically, of course, you're just concentrating. You're kind of concentrating on your breath, right? Your breath is your meditation object because each method really has an object. So walking meditation, your object is walking. For chanting, your object is chanting, or visualization is an image. So you always have a meditation object, and in these methods, your object is your breath. So you can make one up if you want, but you're using your breath as that object to focus on, because if you get distracted or if you get lost or whatever, then you want to remind yourself to go back to your breathing, because your breath is your object that you're focusing on. So whatever you're using, if you do get distracted or lost, just be mindful of it and remind yourself to go back to the your object of meditation. So those are the 4 methods. Do we have any questions of any of the methods? Any concerns, emotional outbursts? Because I finally finished on time, so we can finally sit for a full 30 minutes. So stretch out, do what you need to do, kind of just move around. I'm going to get in your place. I will, halfway through as usual, I'll get up and kind of walk around to do some light taps if your posture needs any correction. But should be good. Anything anybody wants to ask or add or concern about? No? Okay. I always forget to mention that during meditation, if we ever have to move or adjust, we should do so mindfully, that we are telling ourselves we are moving before we're moving or as we're moving. That way you're doing it slowly and mindfully, and never abruptly. If you do have to move. I have another point I wanted to make and I forgot. Oh, that's has anyone's fallen asleep? No. Good. Very happy. Yours in? That means you're doing it wrong. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But it's something that happens. It's happening to me right now. But that's why we try to sit a little bit higher to kind of have this triangular body adjustment. But legs or feet falling asleep is something that you should be kind of power throughing, because it's going to happen, and it may happen a lot. But it's something you have to kind of get your body used to, right? Just like if you're working out, you're always in pain. If you're working out, you're literally tearing your muscles, right? That's how you get big muscles, because it regrows, right? So same thing with feet falling asleep, or your back hurting, or just being uncomfortable every once in a while. You really just kind of have to work through it, which is why I tell you, try to diligently practice meditation, even if it's 10 minutes a day. Just getting your body used to those feelings will really help overcome them, right? But it does require practice. Likewise, your mind requires a practice of being reminded to stay concentrated or stay focused on your object of meditation. Luckily, this time, for once, we haven't had any or too many external sounds and construction going on, so we had a lot more peacefulness this time. So that was nice. Everyone had great posture when I did get up. I wasn't sleeping, I promise. When I did get up and walk around, so that's really awesome. So that means everyone's going to pass the stick test next time, right? Because no one was moving too much. I did hear some movements, which is fine, because we'll have to adjust every once in a while. But great. Really, really good. Does anyone have any questions, experiences, emotional outbursts? No? Great. So that concludes our first series, I guess, on meditation on the breath. So our next class, second Saturday of October, which is the 12th, we'll start on walking meditation, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me double check. I lied. Mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation first, and then walking meditation on the 4th Saturday. Yes, because mindfulness we'll do a sitting, so we'll just do that before we start walking. So we'll do mindfulness meditation, which is really nothing new that we haven't already been doing. But I'm just going to be explaining a little bit more in depth about the mindfulness part of meditation, because we're already doing that, right? As we're concentrating or doing our methods or sitting, we're already being mindful as is. But I just want to elaborate a little bit more, and we'll be doing something a little bit more specific to pay attention to during meditation. Then walking meditation is really great. Maybe Mother Nature will be fruitful and kind to us, that maybe we can do it outside if it's not too scorching. But if not, then we'll just do it inside. And then hopefully maybe either sometime in November we'll do our meditation retreat. I've kind of made a schedule. So none of the sessions will be more than 45 minutes. I'm sparing y'all from 2 hours, that it should be. But the longest session would be probably 45 minutes. So if you're able to get through today, 30 minutes, then you can probably do 15 more minutes, right? Or an hour more, maybe? Just kidding. 45 minutes would be the max. But unlike our 8 precepts retreats, where we do a lot of chanting, this will be very minimal chanting, mostly meditation, of course, because it's a meditation retreat. So I've split sessions of sitting and walking throughout the day. And then we'll still do the normal retreat stuff, like doing a little bit of tours and, of course, eating throughout the day because we have to eat. And breaks. I included a siesta for us, an hour siesta, so you can take a nap or something. But it will be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., which really doesn't sound as bad as it is. It's really not. Right? 6 a.m.
Is this going to be here?
Yes.
Available.
Everyone already wakes up at that time, right? For work or school, right?
You should do it like camping or something where it's just outdoors.
No.
It gets nice out. Debatable. October.
In what country? Because not here. No, it'll. I'm glad. I'm waiting for our new building to be built because our retreats there will be pretty spacious. But we haven't had a retreat all year, which is very interesting because we used to have every other month. Last year we were pretty diligent with it, so we had every other month. This year we haven't had too much opportunity, mostly because we're too busy with the new construction and the clearing of the building and all that stuff. So we've been a little bit too busy. So we'll do hopefully meditation retreat November if Mother Nature is kind to us. I mean, we can't predict it, right? The weathermen don't know how to do their jobs, obviously, because it's never accurate. But kidding, weather people. But yeah, so that concludes this week's. So continue practicing. I want as little movement as possible. I'm just kidding, it's okay to move. But do practice, honestly. I mean, 5-10 minutes a day is really sufficient. Again, it's about the quality of your meditation, not the quantity. So 10 minutes is probably more helpful to you than an hour or 2 hours of meditation, as long as you're being mindful and concentrating correctly on your meditation object. Even when you're walking to your car right now, walk slowly and walk with mindfulness, and pay attention to the sounds or to your surroundings or to the new birds or the new trees or the flowers you've never seen before. Visit the new placement of our Buddha that we finally moved to the front. We have that whole back area cleared. It looks so nice. They're putting the, what's it called?
Foundation.
Yeah, foundation stuff. So we can finally pour foundation in a week or two. So we're getting closer and closer to our new building. So I'm super excited. It just seems so far away. I want it done already. But do walk the garden. It is a semi nice day, so it's not too hot. So enjoy the walk. Enjoy the new statue placement. And then I will see everyone in 2 weeks. Thank you.